like them also.
Mm-hmm. They're in California.
Right. That helps, right?
It helps a lot. Right.
Okay, I think we're up and going. So hello and welcome everybody. I'm Tammy. This is my husband Lance.
Hello there.
We're the Journey to Keto team, ready to help everybody tonight. We've got a few announcements to get into. We'll start checking in, but I am so excited to have Sean to our tribe tonight. So all of our veterans that come in or watching on YouTube or anything like that, welcome Sean, his journey. I've read a little bit what he posted in our group. I can't wait to hear more. When we struggle and wonder what this can truly do for us, you see somebody like him that just gets you motivated again to realize we're on the right track. We just got to stick with it. So a couple announcements I want to throw in. We're going to be talking about, when we get done, we're going to be talking about when we're struggling. Those of you that know a little bit of my story right now, our family's going through some tough times and struggling a little bit. So I am trying to get back on track, trying to get back into my fasting routine. So I'm going to biohack my way back into everything I can do. So my body's needing some help. My emotions are needing some help. My hormones are needing some help. I am going to biohack my way back into this. I'm not giving up. I'm not jumping ship. I'm just going to do the best that I can do right now. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. Another announcement I want to throw out, so I do not forget, by next week, we will have a whole new link made for our support group. So just make sure if you have this saved to your calendar or anything, check it. We're going to have some new posts going up, some new stuff on the website. So make sure you check the new link for next week. Just make sure it's not going to be the same one because I screwed it up when I shared it. So
it has disappeared.
It disappeared in computer la land. So I'll be making a new one this week, and it will be attached to the website and everything that we're trying to do. So that's our story. I am not fasting. Lance is going for a 72. I am not.
I'm white knuckling it. I'm just going to go get it. So I'm really trying. It's a struggle today, but we'll see how. Hopefully tomorrow is a little easier, but we'll see.
Yeah, we're getting there. A little bit at a time. I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow, and every time I go into my doctor and I say that I'm fasting, everybody has issues. So I'm going to start my fast as soon as I get home from the doctor tomorrow and get it going. But I'll be fine. I'm going to push through it too. So I might do a 48 and end at the same time with him in his 72 if I can, or I'll see how I'm feeling. So that drive back and forth from Cleveland to the Cleveland Clinic for my brother is tough on our sleep, tough on our emotions, everything when we go in and out. If everybody say a prayer for him, he is having the pacemaker put in tomorrow. So I'm hoping we make some progress with him and we get there. So that's our story. We're sticking to it. And come on in. Welcome to the tribe, Sean. Come on in. Tell us where you started, what happened, and what got you here. And can't wait to hear it.
Well, so I, like a lot of people, made a lot of bad decisions over the course of about 39 years and ended up depressed and a type 2 diabetic after being a pre-diabetic for about 25 years of it. I had non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. The depression was by far the worst. I had sleep apnea, gout. I've had everything from, I had shingles twice. Like I used to tell my wife I'm getting all my illnesses out of the way. I guess I'm going to check out early. And nevertheless, so, I mean, and all of it kind of accumulated around 2019 when COVID hit and I lost my job. Spent 2019 to 2022 basically just laying on the couch, couldn't work. I was 457 pounds that I know of, and it could have been more. My scales just said error, so I had to, I had to get some heavy duty scales. And I up until I lost my job, I'd spent the previous 12 years as in EMS. I was a paramedic. And so I knew the health. I just didn't take care of mine very well. And one thing led to another. I spent 3 years basically laying on the couch, not caring if I woke up the next morning. And it just spiraled further and further down. I mean, you know, a lot of people, you get used to living a certain way. You don't think there's any hope for you. And that's basically where I was at. I was hopeless. And so I would lay there. It was when I say it was bad, like I couldn't take a shower without sitting on the side of the tub because I was that out of breath.
Wow.
I didn't even sleep in the bed. I've been married for 21 years this past July. And
Congratulations.
That's awesome.
Good for
to
you.
the same woman. No, so that, I have to clarify. My grandma used to say, you got to clarify.
Well, kudos to you for that one.
Yep.
So thank you. She's a great woman. But yeah, so I mean, things were just horrible. I got 2 children. I wasn't able to basically do much about being a father, a husband, a son. It couldn't work, couldn't do hardly anything. And so I would sit there and play games and watch TV and watch YouTube. And I was listening to Joe Rogan one day, and I don't agree with everything Joe does or Joe says, but I would listen to him. He was pretty fair on some of the things that he would talk about and some interesting people he'd bring on. And he brought on Rhonda Patrick, who's definitely not for a ketogenic or carnivore way of eating, but their discussion kind of triggered some thinking in me. It was pretty scientific. So I couldn't exercise. I had no determination, no motivation. And, there was nothing I could do. I hadn't worked for 3 years. I was broke. I couldn't buy into a program. I couldn't afford any more pills. I tried the hydroxycut and the Adipex and the B12 injections and the HCG and all the things that you could imagine to try to lose weight. And after hearing that conversation with Joe Rogan and Rhonda Patrick, I just got to thinking and basically praying. And I asked God to do in me what I couldn't do in myself. Amen. And something that only he could get the glory for. And, because if he didn't, I was done. Like I couldn't continue living like I was. And he did. So on April the 17th, 2022, well, a little before that, actually, after I left the Joe Rogan, Rhonda Patrick interview, the next couple of days, I kind of thought about it. And, if what they're saying is true or not, I don't know, but I need to investigate this a little more. So I did like most people do, and I get on YouTube and I look up the carnivore diet because I had been in EMS for 12 years. I mean, I've been around healthcare my whole life. I had no earthly idea what the carnivore diet was.
I see your t-shirt.
Yeah.
PhD. I know exactly who that is.
Yeah. And as a matter of fact, that's exactly who I came across, this crazy doctor named Dr. Ken Berry.
Yep.
Right.
And I thought for the life of me, this guy should know better. He's a physician, and, he's saying that I don't have to do anything but eat meat. 30, 60, 90 days of beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. And he's saying that it's going to do all this. I knew nothing about nutrition, but what he was saying about the body and health, I did know, and it made sense. And what he was saying was on point. So I figured, what the heck, he knows what he's talking about. I've tried everything else except for this. I might as well give this a go. What have I got to lose? Right.
Right.
And me and my wife, I was super skeptical. I said, all right, Ken Berry, if this works like you say that it's going to work, I want to be 190 pounds. That was my goal.
You can do it.
And I weigh 188 pounds today.
Nice.
Amen, bro. Amen.
Yeah. And so, it was a struggle. I started out eating basically, whatever, meat. I tried a month of it in October of 21 just to see what it was about. And it was the dirtiest absolute version of carnivore that you could imagine. I was still having honey and, I had all kind of sauces and, whatever, full of sugar, I just didn't know better,
Right.
And, but it was so drastically different from what I was used to in the standard American diet, eating 6, 7.
It was better. Right.
Yeah, 100%. And I felt so different. I knew it's what I needed to do, but then you got Christmas and you got Thanksgiving and you got the New Year's and then you got my birthday, then you got Valentine's Day. And I knew better than to try to make a New Year's resolution in October. Right.
Don't tell me you're
So-
a Capricorn.
My birthday is January the 12th.
Oh, I'm the 17th.
Nice. Nice.
You guys are going to get along great.
Yep.
That's right. So I kicked the can down the road a little bit, and it became I know this is what I need to do, but I'm gonna start tomorrow. And like many of us can attest to, tomorrow never comes. And so one thing led to another, and finally, on April the 17th, 2022, was the day that literally changed my life. And I was pretty isolated, pretty secluded. I didn't have much to do with my family. I couldn't do much, and so, but I did agree to go to a family dinner, Easter dinner with my wife's family. And it was this April the 17th was basically I think the Saturday or Sunday before that dinner the next weekend. And I said, you know what? I'm starting it. There's always going to be an excuse. There's always going to be a reason why not to do it. But today's the day that I'm going to start it and I'm going to do it. And my wife says, well, what you going to do at the dinner? I said, I don't know. I guess they better have some meat or I'm not going to be eating, because I'm sick of this. I cannot live another day like I'm living.
Right.
Yeah.
And from that day to this day, like I said, I lost 269 pounds in a little over a year and a half. My A1C was almost 7. Now it's 5.2.
Nice.
I healed non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. I am off my lisinopril, HCTZ, and amlodipine. I no longer take my gout medication, colchicine and allopurinol. I no longer have to sleep with a CPAP machine. So, I mean, the only thing I take right now that I was taking then is testosterone. My testosterone was 122 before, and that was with a gel replacement that really wasn't doing anything. And I take 100 milligrams of testosterone once a week, and my testosterone is 25 and 700 usually, until I can get it up. And then I'm going to tell the Dr. Pound saying with that too.
Yep. You got that. Sean, how cool.
That is awesome, man.
How inspiring. So many points I want to touch on that. First of all, being in the healthcare world, I think it's maddening to know none of us go into the healthcare to not love on people, love health, love our bodies, love whatever. And I think the BS that we've been taught through how many thousands of dollars in medical classes to realize the information we've been taught through the standard American diet is just total BS and does not work. And if it worked, we wouldn't all be sick. So, having to go search and having to go find something. So I just applaud you, first of all, and thank you for the work that you've done, because it's not an easy transition to go from medical classes and what we've all been taught to this world and standing up and standing strong in it. But I think people like you're the living proof of what we can change in this. I don't know how much of my story you know, but I've been on death's door more times than I care to count.
Too many.
This has brought me back from a cancer survivor, heart attack survivor, all the medications you just listed, the depression, the anxiety, ADD, all of that. This is what has fixed us. And this is what's kept me here and found my new purpose in life of doing this. And it's just one of those things. We're so passionate to see the people that do the work. And it's not always easy and it's not always fun. And sometimes it just flat out sucks. But I now can walk up to that ribeye on the plate, look at it like I'm going to eat like a queen, and I feel good. I don't feel deprived. I don't feel like I'm giving anything up. And it's like to realize eating the good meat and adding the fats to it, I can survive the rest of my life and do it. So it's just kudos to you for that. An easy way that we always put this is I always say, eat the meat and add the fat. And it's just that easy. And I would really curious to see what your testosterone does. We teach Dr. Boz's program where it's a step-by-step, and she's really into making sure you hit your fat macros to get those fat-based hormones, those fat-based hormones up and working really well for those of us that have hormone issues on top of it. So it's just a little tweak on it, but it's the same concept, but it's really cool to see. I'll be curious to see as you hit those fat macros, how good your testosterone starts kicking in on its own without that shot. And I love it when you can go to the doctor and say, don't need you, don't need you no more.
My doctor already thinks I'm a weirdo, because the last time I was there, I had lost 200 pounds, and I'm sitting there with my cam because I want to get his face on picture on video whenever he walks in and I'm down 200 pounds and I'm off all this medication and stuff. So, it was kind of awkward a little bit, but whatever,
But
it
don't
is
you
what
love
it
it?
is.
You're sitting there looking at him. You've lost 200 pounds and he's telling you you're
You did it wrong.
You're wrong.
Yeah. He's like, I've never seen anything like this before in my life. That's his
Amen.
exact words. So I was like, glory to God for it, man.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But taking it back and taking the simplicity of it. I think that's where Ken Berry is my hubby's man crush. So.
I
Oh
did.
yeah, mine too. I actually got to thank him on the channel, whatever. I brought him on and interviewed him and was able to thank him. And I love Ken Berry.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So it's just cool. It's neat, but I love how he put it, where I love the sciencey side with drboz. Lance really loved just that simplicity of eat the meat and add the fat.
Make it simple, man.
It wasn't any other issues to deal with.
I can't do complicated. I can do simple.
That's right.
So it's just kudos to you. And we're so glad to have you on board and proud to have you here. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah, and thanks for sharing. I love having you share any of your struggles and wins over there on the page too. I think that's the majority of us that are veterans on here, and most everybody here are veterans. Not sure on YouTube, but most of our veterans here need to hear the long-term health, the long-term successes to stay in it. And
I mean, we talk enough about, our little successes and stuff like that. When new people come in with fresh things that happen and, hey, I conquered this and I conquered that. And
some new motivation.
That's some new motivation for everybody. So we love it, man.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it.
Good job. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, that's exactly my motivation now. Because I honestly, it's amazing. And I'm so thankful. I can't overstate that enough, but I honestly, it's that I had a very little control over it. I did what I did. And there's not anybody out there that can experience. Will you lose 269 pounds in a year? I can't promise you that. However, I can say that what can be fixed with your situation is no different. I'm not special in that regard. It'll work for you the same way it worked for me.
But but biggest thing is you did your part. The rest,
that's right. Yes.
The rest happened on its own.
Yes.
But
Absolutely.
I think that's the cool part too with all of us here. I think this world of the carnivore, ketovore world, I love how we can all help each other. We are all each other's best cheerleaders, and it's not you have to do this or have to do that. I love that just cleaning everything up and getting back on track the way God made our bodies to function is a win. It's still better than the standard American diet. It is still better than the godforsaken diet that you're fed at a hospital when you're having a heart attack or an issue. It is still better than, it's maddening when we see what is in that outside world. And I love that all these communities on here, we all come together, help each other, cheer each other along. And
because everybody is so different. Yeah. Everybody's circumstances are so different. Everybody's building blocks are so different. Where you came from is different from where I came from, where she came from, where Helen came from, where everybody came from. But it works in so many different areas, and it's not as hard as you think it is. It's not a special plan for Helen or special plan for Linda or Wayne or Stina. Right. Do the same thing and you'll reap the benefits of it.
Yep. I love it. Right. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Speaking of Stina, come on in, check in. Stina, tell us how you're doing. We got another
better.
Do better.
Better. Good.
I was doing well. So I'm still on a fast right now. I'm doing about a 36. I'll break my fast sometime tomorrow morning or noontime. I broke my toe over the weekend.
Oh man.
And ironically, I broke it right before I got into my plunge bath, which at least the
inflammation down,
right? So luckily I have enough skills to reset and handle that myself, but waiting for my walking boot because I gotta go to work tomorrow. Anyway, so I'm in a season of struggle, but I'm sticking with my keto. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And we're just and predominantly carnivore and just kind of walking that line, sticking to the keto, waiting to see things happen. One thing that's in my head right now, and that I've got this little bit of a broken toe, is that I'm not going to be as active probably for at least a couple of weeks until it sets, because it is in a place that I can't really put weight on it right now. So I need to figure out how to keep this body moving without putting weight on that foot. So that's my goal for next.
Anything you get to
anything, So I joke, because of my condition with lipedema, a lot of times I'm doing like crazy yoga stretches at any point in time and anywhere. I could just like, go land on a exercise mat and put my legs up for 15 minutes. So we'll be doing that. But movement of any kind will be good. So it's about keeping the movement, even though I can't be on my feet. So
Good
I'm just
job.
sticking with it. I think if this is going to be my last fast until I get into September. I am pondering the thought of giving up dairy. Well, I'll say cow dairy for September, potentially. So that'll be a big deal for me. It's going to be really hard because I think for me, cow dairy is probably one of my addictive things, and it could potentially be a game changer for me in my condition. So I really need to put in the effort to do the elimination to see what happens. So that trying to wind myself up for that.
Good deal.
Stina, I feel for you on that one. I too getting ready to do, I'm going to be one of Boz's coaches for the 21-day program coming up.
Nice.
It's one of those, again, I'm probably going to have to eliminate my cream because again, any of the veterans on here, most of us veterans have checked what dairy does. And when you actually check your numbers, as much as dairy fits in my macros, perfectly fine. It fits in my numbers because I'm carnivore. I have more than enough carbs to spare to stay well under that 10 carb mark that we try to stay at. It fits in my macros, but it does not fit in my body because my DBR rises every day. And right now I'm sucking it down like it's going out of style because I know it's coming up.
She's filling up.
See, I don't think it's the carbs. For me, I don't think it's the carbs. I think it is the proteins. It is the capsaicin. It's that stuff I think my body doesn't like. So it creates that inflammatory response. So I think that's my issue with it. So
yeah.
So I am swinging to goat milk for a little bit because I know goat milk agrees with me, but we'll have to see if I have to get rid of all dairy. So
that's my next try is try to find goat milk. That's the next one.
You can get it online right now.
You can send me a
link.
link.
You can get it powdered. So I just ordered some powdered goat's milk cream because finding the cream is hard. So that if I feel like I need that creamy coffee, I'm going to go to that. But I'm trying to go black. But I get it powdered sometimes because it's easier to find.
Sure.
and it keeps, yeah.
Well, if you have a link, send it to me because I will be trying.
Okay.
Don't forget the salt works really well in the black coffee. It really does. It doesn't sound like it, but it does.
It does. I'm a regular user of salt in my coffee in the morning. So yeah.
Just take away the cream. You can do it.
Well, and I made ghee over the weekend so that I would have ghee because ghee is even better than butter because there's no milk solids in it. So I made ghee just so that I would at least have that to put in it as well. Yeah.
Thanks. Good job, Stina. You got
Thank
it.
you.
Heading in. Come on in, Wayne. Come and fill us in. Tell us how you're doing.
Hi there.
Hey.
First of all, on the tangent on there, somebody a week or two ago talked about putting egg in coffee, which sounded bizarre.
That was me.
I've heard that.
I've started putting an egg in and dropping out the heavy cream, and you just got to beat the crap out of it, but
It works.
it does work.
Now
So,
you rolling the whole egg in there, or is it just egg white or egg yolk, or what are you doing?
I'm throwing the whole thing in.
There you go.
Not the shell.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
A little crunchy.
That's going to be on my list of to-dos when I start backing everything off and get my cream out. I'll go to the egg. Whipping that up and making it frothy still gives me that little bit of creaminess that I
I may try that.
I can handle it. I like it.
I may
You
go.
like that? Why would you try that? He's the only person I know that intentionally goes backwards.
I use butter in my coffee
He
when
likes
I'm not
butter.
fasting. I would like to try an egg. That would be good.
I
Just to try it.
put butter and an egg in.
Ooh,
Creamy egg. There you go.
I might just try the yolk.
Wayne, I like the stick blender for that instead of the little whip blender.
That's
Yeah.
what I use. Yeah.
The
Yeah,
emulsifier.
the whip blender doesn't do it good
Oh,
enough.
Oh, you got to really use the big
Emulsifier,
one.
yeah.
Gotcha. The big one.
Yeah. Go big or go home.
Turbocharge that baby. It'll be good.
All right. I had just on the 22nd of August passed my 1 year back recommitment to following, a healthier eating lifestyle. And it was really good timing because I have a doctor's appointment next week, or no, this week, Wednesday of this week. So I had to do all my blood work, and kind of like what Sean was just talking about. Welcome, Sean. Sorry I missed the beginning of your talk. I love the post that you put up. That was very inspirational. It was a really nice time to look back on this, and just a couple of the numbers that really made me feel good for when I've had struggles and had hard time sticking with things or wondering if it was worth it. My A1C a year ago was 5.7 and it came in at 4.9 this time.
That's a
So,
win.
That's awesome, dude.
That's a win.
and I've been reading Dr. Barry's book. It's just a small book. It's only like 50 pages. You can download it from his site for like $14. It
Guy's
goes
book.
goes through blood labs,
We have it.
and it really talks about what they mean, and not just what the averages are from the general population, but what the optimals should be.
That's nice.
But there's a measurement called ALT, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, but it basically is an indicator of liver function. And the normal range is supposed to be from 10 to 35. Last year, mine was 75, and it came in at 28 this time. So all these things are indicating, it's basically what Sean was saying. There's nothing special about me. There's nothing that is so unique about me being able to do this that, well, that's just him. I couldn't do that. And that's just a really negative mindset. You got to get over that.
And here's something too, I just grabbed out of that. You were having a struggle too during some of that time, and you were struggling and you were kind of beating yourself up. Look at the amount of change that just happened just by you keeping focused. I mean, you went off the rails a little bit here and there, like everybody does, but you consistently changed what you're doing, and you saw results. That just got to be uplifting.
Right. And basically what I had come to say to the group a couple of weeks ago was, it all started when I quit tracking my numbers.
Yep.
That one little decision to quit tracking my numbers led to some other negative decisions. So I basically came back and said, screw it. I'm checking my numbers every day, even if I had what I consider to be a bad day the day before. I'm going to be logging in chronometer, and I'll tell you, I'm not perfect. I'm probably 5 or 6 days out of 7. Well, that's not too shabby. It's not even important that I'm tracking, but the fact the exercise of me doing it just keeps me mentally in the game.
I'm going to follow suit too. I'm going to follow your lead.
And I think that's something that's easy for all of us veterans. You know, we know what we're doing, but sometimes we still do get off track. And especially those of us that are still struggling with the hormones, we need to hit those fat macros to get those hormones working properly. That is the beauty of knowing what your DBR is and doing that over and over and over consistently. That's what changes those fat-based hormones and gets them working. So I think it's kind of cool, but I love, Wayne, how you've worked through it. And one thing I do want to say, there is something special about everybody here.
Oh,
Everybody
yeah,
has done the work to get there. And it is special because if we take our little group and look outward at the outside world, we are a special group. We really are, because we are not looking at the doctor had to give me another pill to fix this, or I'm not sitting here waiting for somebody else to fix it for me. We each are doing the work that we can do. We may not be able to fix everything. Like after my heart attack, I've still had to go back to some medication that I didn't want to take.
Yep.
I did not want to turn to it, but my body still needed some help. So I'm using the medication where it's needed, but you bet your ass I'm going to do everything in my power on my side of it to do what I can. And those are the kind of things that we are special. It is neat because we can look to the outside world and see what the standard American diet is doing to everybody out there. And I think this is a very special group and a very special group of people and a community that it is amazing that we do know the difference. And it's maddening to sit and look at the outside world of the people that we know we can help, that we want it more for them than they want it for themselves because they don't understand how much work, how much it can fix, how much it can do. It's maddening. You know, I mean, it's hard to sit and watch the people we know and love that you have the answer to fix it. And there's just something to be said in that. So I think, first of all, I want to say y'all are special and we're a special team, but that's where God's going to use each one of us to plant a seed.
Yep.
Looking outward to every person we come in contact with. I'm sure people run from us because they're tired of hearing about it. But it's one of those, we go to the grocery store and people walk by us with their heads down.
Don't look at my cart. We've heard that so many times. We'll be
Like, I'm
walking
not
through
the
the
food police.
We're walking through the garage or grocery store. Oh, don't look at my cart. Don't look at. It's like, I don't care. That's your stuff, not mine.
But we live in a small town. So of course you pass people every time you walk into the store. And it's just kind of funny because people just run from us. And it's like, come on, this used to be where we went for our social hour every night. It was to the grocery store at Kishman's to go see everybody. And now you find people just scatter from us. But I just want to say it is a very special group that we have. And I love, this is where blood isn't always family. And I think because we do understand each other and we pull each other over those hurdles, that's where family comes in. And we're just blessed to have y'all. So I love it.
The thing I would leave with everyone is everybody has something they're trying to do. Keep it simple, something you can control. You can't control what your ketone or your glucose number is going to be specifically tomorrow morning. I mean, you can make decisions that impact that, but still, who knows? It still could be high tomorrow, but track it. You can control whether you track it or not. You can't control if it's 110, 130, or 87. I mean, so just stick with it, and eventually the results will come. If you're lucky, it'll only be a short period of time. If you're not lucky, it might take longer, but it'll work out.
Some of the best things take the hardest amount of work.
But I will say, we have you, we have Wayne, we have Sean, we have Lance, we have Kevin in our group. The men in this group, and Rob too, we've got men in
not to exclude you, Rob. She's looking at you, but she didn't say your name.
Well, he doesn't have as much weight to lose as you guys did, so they were big, we had some big boys, but I love that every one of you guys have taken the lead and taken the role, and you're being the godly men, the godly leaders that you're called to be. And you are leading your families across the finish line in this, winning, succeeding, losing, failing, whatever, but you're leading. And I just want to applaud all of you. But I love to see, because us girls fight it. Us girls have to work harder on those hormones. It's a bigger struggle. It's harder to get over the humps and the hurdles of it. But to look at you guys and see the inspiration of, we'll get there. We're not getting there as fast as you guys do. And God love, those hormones don't kick in as fast for us as they do for you guys. But God love you guys for leading and being the men that are doing it and being the leaders of our family. So again, we're just blessed. Couldn't do it without you, babe.
Thanks, babe.
Or we'd kill each other. I don't know which.
Yeah, exactly. Me sitting on the couch with a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and you looking at me, no, that won't work.
Anybody that knows the beginning of our story, I tried it for the first year with drboz after my surgeries and my cancer and everything. And he's like, oh, hell no. And he's sitting on the couch, and it was finally, I'm a year in with drboz and trying to come back from cancer and heart attack, just everything I'm trying to bounce back from. And he's sitting there eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches every night before we go to bed.
That's my staple, man.
And I'm like, dude, I'm not doing this to fit in my skinny jeans. I'm doing this to save my life. And when I finally looked at him and got serious and said, I can't do this, watching you eat my grandma's strawberry freezer jam
dude.
on a peanut butter and jelly sandwich every night while I'm smelling it and wanting to punch you in the face and lick it at the same time. I mean, it's just that it was one of those, but that is how, shut up. That is how, what got him on board though, when I finally got serious and said, I need you to lead. I need you at least join me.
And it's amazing. Thank God that I actually did, because she wouldn't be here if I didn't.
It saved my life more than once.
The guy up there is amazing.
So, yep. Good.
Anyway, we'll move on.
Move on. Good job. Come on in, Linda and Rob. Come and tell us how it's going. How's the week going? Are you getting back on track, getting back into chronometer, hitting those fat macros? What's happening?
Yeah,
doing good.
I still struggle with getting all the fat in. It's been a good week, but
that's a hard thing. That's a hard thing to do. It really is.
And especially Linda, with you and your health issues, anybody that's had that gastric bypass, you've got to go twice as slow. You've got to wait for your body to be able to absorb that fat and not go straight through and make you miserable. So you've got a leader and you're following. So, and I'm proud of you.
Which this time around, it seems like I'm assimilating the fat better than the first couple times.
Amen. Exactly. Okay, so how's the MCT doing? Is the MCT being okay this week?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I find out when you have too much of it.
Right?
You take off running.
You only do that once.
Oh, yeah.
Someday when Kevin's on here, we'll have the horror stories.
Oh, dude. No.
Kevin's got some that just make us laugh.
Terrible.
Like dude,
Uh,
where's Kevin? Is Kevin over there?
No, he's not on here.
Get Kevin. Yeah, but it's a lesson you learned. But the win in that, Linda, that you are assimilating it better, that it's not going straight through you. That tells you how much progress your body has made since the last time we went through it. So
Yeah.
good for you. Again, it's making progress, and you're going to stay consistent and steady and biohack when you need to. And it's okay.
And I had something, not to give you an excuse or anything, but that fat goal is a goal right now, and just use it as such. That's what I'm supposed to get in. Don't beat yourself up if you don't.
Yeah,
Give yourself a little grace, because you got to
go as your body can.
train your body to get up to that point, because some of us are able to throw that much fat at our system, some aren't. So you just have to do it in smaller increments.
I forget, Linda, do you have your gallbladder?
No.
Okay. I was thinking me and you are the same on that. I don't have a gallbladder either. And it's one of those, I can do the fat. I just have to. Helen, you don't either. Stina, you don't. Does anybody here have a gallbladder?
I do.
Yes. The guys got their
No,
gallbladders.
I'm going to thank Weight Watchers for that one.
Right?
Oh, geez.
All of us are losing our gallbladder. All of us girls. But again, that's, we got to go that much slower, that much steadier, and just go easy until we can handle it. Our body can handle it. We can still do fat.
Consistent.
Yeah. It's
Just stay consistent.
again,
Yeah.
we're slow and steady. We're not going to win the race like the guys do. We're not going to, he can chug a thing of oil and rock it out and have more energy than he knows what to do with. And us girls just don't do it that easy. So,
Yeah, I try to break it down
mhm.
during the day so that I'm getting it, but that's a lot.
It is. And if you have that eating window open to like 4 to 6 hours for right now, it's the same reason, it's anybody that knows stops in my office or anything. I keep them out here all the time. So I can do one little one. I bite on it, suck it out, throw the capsule away throughout the day. It's just a steady stream of MCT, so I'm getting that MCT help right now for my liver because I struggle making ketones. He'll rock them out. And after a 24-hour fast, he's got his ketones down pat. My body will struggle just like yours does. But I keep these in steady right now to help my liver, help the ketones get going. Then my body will kick in. It just takes me longer.
We'll see tomorrow morning when I take my numbers.
Right.
Rob's not getting any ketones.
Not yet.
He's got to push it. He's got to get everything else cleaned up first.
He'll probably have to stress his body a little bit more to break those ketones out, because you're probably normally used to going at a certain pace. I noticed for me, it took me a long time till I started making ketones. I really had to push my body and stress my body to make that happen. Once I did,
Look out.
then my body says, oh, you can use these for fuel. Okay, I'll make some. So you haven't got to that point where you're actually stressing your body to do that.
And it took him fasting to start making good ketones. So when he hit those fasts is when it really first, Wayne too. Yep. It's when it really first started working.
And I had to run through that series. The first series of 8 that I did, I got some benefit. I think I got more benefit from the second, third, or fourth time that I went through that series of 8, that my body kind of woke up at that point.
And so anybody listening that understands what we're talking about, with Dr. Boz's protocol, we do 8 weeks of 72s in a row to get that deep cleaning in the liver, to get all that storage out, get all the glycogen, everything out of storage, try to use that up to get everything going. Lance he just ate the standard American diet.
I'm blessed with health.
Yeah.
I have excellent health. I don't have any major problems. I'm a pretty healthy guy. I'm pretty active.
But he was a single dad on fish sticks and tater tots. So,
I ate what I could and ate crap. So,
but his body still had a lot of cleanup to do, is what I'm getting at. And it took, when we went through the first batch of 72-hour fast, the first 8 weeks in a row, how we do it, because my health needs the deep cleaning. He's still trying to get there. We do 8 weeks of 72s. Then we usually take a week or 2 off. And we'll do a couple restaurants that we wouldn't normally, date night or whatever. And then we go right back into our 72s. This season has been off just because of my family issues right now, that we're not been in our normal routine, but we're getting ready to jump back in. We got to, and anybody that's wanting to do that, we have enough time to get 2 of the 8 weeks of 72s in before the holidays hit us. I want to be good and strong before Thanksgiving break comes and family dinners and eating other stuff and people bringing other things and all the good stuff. So we can lighten up a little bit from Thanksgiving to Christmas if we go hard at it between now and then. So we just try to fit it in our schedule. So that might be, Rob, what you got to do too, is stress it a little bit. But when you get in those 8 weeks consecutively is when that liver is getting that deep cleaning done.
And watch out when you do that. When you start kicking on that machine, you're going to run out of energy at some point because your body's going to make enough ketones that you're going to start to run off of, but it needs fat to make those ketones. And it's not going to click until you run out of energy, until you bonk.
With you not having a whole lot of fat storage.
Yeah, if you don't have a whole lot of fat storage on your body, you're not going to have reserves to pull from to make those ketones. Okay. Just keep in mind, once you start that engine, you need to fuel that engine.
Be ready.
You're going to have to up your fats from where you're at now just to run on.
Yeah, because I'm sitting at 137 pounds, so I don't have any fat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to make sure you're hitting fat.
Up here, you know.
But it's going to be a mindset for you too, because you're going to say, man, I'm out of energy. I'm hungry. You know, you're going to struggle with that.
Make sure you give me a call when you hit that, Rob.
When you hit that,
we'll talk you through your numbers and see literally where your numbers are, what your fat macros and your protein and everything is. We'll do like a deep dive on you when you hit that. When you start to feel like you're bogging down, let me know.
Because when I got really lean and really down to where my goal was at the time, and Kevin is at this now, and he's been at this for a while. My fat to protein ratio was 3-to-1. So, I had to have 3 things of fat
Sean, is that where you're
to 1 protein. Yeah, Sean's there too.
At least. And it might be 4 or 5 to 1. Honestly,
that's just to maintain.
Wow.
I'll go like every once in a while. I'm like, man, I know I'm not hungry. I'll just go like cut me a chunk of butter off out the refrigerator and just eat it. Yeah. I'll cut a ribeye. Like I won't let my butcher trim the fat.
Yep. Us too.
When I grill it, I'll grill out 5 at a time. And sometimes if I get hungry, but I know that it's not normal for me to be hungry, it's my body saying you want more, go get some fat. I'll go trim off like the fat off the end of one of the ribeyes and throw it on with the other steak that I'm about to eat. And I mean, it's work, but I'm definitely eating twice as much now as I was a month or 2 ago, even.
Yeah.
And that's just to maintain.
And I think there is a big difference of what you guys can do in that and how you have to keep that body fueled. And, you know, Rob, with you not having the storage, you're going to have to ingest it. But so
just keep it in mind.
Remember early on when Lance hit that lean number and his energy dropped and we did his macros to see exactly how much fat, because we needed the visual.
270 grams of fat.
It was a cup and a quarter of fat a day. And we poured that out in a measuring cup so he could see this is the equivalent of fat that he needed a day. It was 1.25 cups of oil.
That was avocado oil at the time.
To hit enough fat for him.
Come close.
So it was just, whew. You know, you think you're getting enough, oh man, I put butter in my coffee. We eat we do the same thing. We have our butcher cuts us untrimmed ribeyes every week. They're this. I mean, I used to feed a family of 4 on those roasts that we used to have and that we eat now as a ribeye. I mean, they're huge, but that whole fat cap is left on him and everything. And we'd eat all that thinking he's good.
I kept saying, honey, I'm hungry. She says, you can't be hungry. I said, yes, I can.
Beef.
I'm hungry.
I mean, the ribeyes used to be 2 inches thick and they were literally our plate. I mean, it was.
But when you turn that machine
you'll
on,
get there.
Prepare to fuel it. And don't forget how to fuel it.
Yeah.
Because it may hit you at whenever you decide to stress and you try to help Linda go through her stress that she's going to need probably a little bit less stress to start activating than you, because you're more normalized to it. So when you help her through that and you start going on a rhythm, your body, you'll start getting into that stress of your body. When you get to that point, then you just got to remember it's fat based. That's where your energy comes from.
Your fuel is fat.
Your
Fat
fuel is fat. Fat is fuel. So
just let me know. You call me when you're when you think you're getting there, and we'll go do a deep dive on your personal numbers.
Okay. One thing, I know, Tammy, you said you will eat them, but you don't like them, the sardines. Have
Yep.
you tried the grilled mackerels?
yep. Just try a raw mackerel.
That's my go-to. I can eat those ones out of the can. I don't,
Let's
again,
no.
I can't
Yeah,
say
but-
that. I still don't love them.
Yeah, these ones here.
Oh no. I'm just getting mine are just in a can.
Wild caught grilled mackerel. Nice.
No, I'll have to try those.
I love them. I mean, just plain, they don't taste fishy.
Well, they
At
do
all.
taste fishy,
Well,
but
I didn't think
not
they did.
as fishy.
Yeah, I mean, I could just eat them down plain. I don't need Frank's hot sauce with them.
There you
That's
go.
a win.
That's a win.
Plain. And the only difference between these and the sardines is the mackerel have 3 grams less fat.
Yeah.
I mean, they're at 9 grams of fat, where the sardines are 12.
Well, anybody that knows me knows Dr. Boz has had me trying to eat sardines for 2 years, and I faithfully did it every week, thinking my taste buds would change. And he keeps filming me because they still gag me.
I love her face.
Like I
great.
get them babies down, and it makes me mad when somebody says, "Oh, I don't like this. I can't eat it." It's like I gag them babies down every week for 2 years, and they go down because my health needs it. I think of them as my medicine. I think of them as my body just needs it. I'm getting ready to go into the 21-day thing, and part of the 21-day course is the sardine challenge, and I will do it. Being the coach, I will do it for them and with them. But I will say the mackerel or go down so much easier than sardines do.
Give me the
Oh.
sardines.
He loves the sardines. I can't stand the smell of them. I think it's the smell and the texture that gets me more than anything. But I love the macro. If you can't do the sardines, because I have people that just have totally tapped out of the sardines that refuse. The macro is the next step down to try. And it really, it's still a win. You're still getting that protein and fat. And the other thing, anybody that has done the brains course with us, with Dr. Boz, doing those sardines or the mackerel, when you are trying to break addictions in the brain, and I can't wait to get in this. As soon as we can get the brains course up and running, we're going to get this going again. But if you're working on those addictions in the brain, that sardine, those mackerels help break those addictions so much that it is such a win to move forward. And it really does work. When you need to break an addiction in the brain, you're working on portion control. You're working on the dopamine response, because nobody's overeating sardines and nobody's getting a big old dopamine response out of them. So, but in your head, you have the nutrition. And if we have people that think they absolutely can't fast, they will die. Of course, we have those people that think that. If you're one of them, then sardines will give you all the nutrition you need and you're not going to die. And if you're that hungry, I play the mind game with myself. If I'm going to break my fast, then I have to go to sardines. Really makes, I could fast easier than I can eat the sardines. Helen, you got a question? Jump in, hun. Hang on, you're muted. Hang on, you're muted. Got to unmute. You're still muted, babe.
There she is.
There you go.
Just what brand was that grilled mackerel?
Is it Seasons?
Yeah.
Season, yeah.
Can
Where
you
is
show
it?
the front again?
There you go. There you go. Right there.
All right.
There it is.
There
I
it
get
is.
mine at Walmart.
Cool. Is it
Okay.
that brand, Stina?
Got ours.
Yeah, that's where we got ours.
Okay.
Okay. And I was also interested in the brand of the dry goat cream.
I put that in the chat.
Thank you.
Okay. That'll
Oh,
be,
now what if, oh,
what's that?
all right. How do I get to the chat?
Hang on. Can you copy it and paste it and send it to her
Yeah.
personal? We'll send it to your personal thing.
Thank you.
You're welcome, honey.
Okay.
Bring it up in the,
I can't bring it up in YouTube.
oh, well, hang on.
You
I've
got,
only got 2 more things, Tammy. When
Okay,
you were
keep
talking about,
going while we're,
you copy it, I'll paste it.
go ahead, honey.
when you were talking about the standard American diet, I thought about that, the first letter of each of those words spells
Sad.
sad,
And it is truly sad. If you look at that post I put up today, the Buzz and them shared it over in their group, and it was that picture of the refrigerator. And I looked at it, and it's like, if you look at that refrigerator in our group post today, You look at that refrigerator and how many people on the standard American diet, that refrigerator is full, but it's normal food for everybody.
Yeah.
It's that part of, you look outside and it's like, I think of, and I lived a pretty healthy lifestyle. My kids didn't eat a bunch of junk. We didn't have a bunch of sugar in our house, but I gave them fruit baskets. I mean, my kid walked out the door for school every day with a damn fruit smoothie in his hand. You know, I thought my daughter danced, you know, she's going to the ballet, she's going to dance class, you know, she traveled and competed. We had blenders that I took with us places. I mean, there was just,
She was a smoothie queen.
it was the smoothie queen, because if I'm teaching a fitness class, we owned a fitness studio, a dance studio. You need something? We got fruit smoothies every
Have a
smoothie. You know, it was the fix for everything. So
Yeah.
think about what we all have done in our past, but what we fell into and what we believed. And it's like, if that worked, if those fruits and veggies all worked, first of all, I wouldn't have been sick and pre-diabetic and everything. But if you look back at that refrigerator, at that standard American diet, it's sad that it is full of tater tots and fish sticks and crappy oils and just stuff. Pop-Tarts. You know, how many of us send our kids out the door with dang Pop-Tart? You know, I mean,
And then would eat the rest of the box.
yeah. So I mean, look at the things that was normal and is normal for so many people. And again, that's where we are special. We are special because we can all look at that refrigerator right now and we
go,
know,
oh,
that's a headache. You know, but you look at those you love and you look outside our circle. If we turned around and if we faced into our circle and cheer each other on, if we each turned our backs and looked outside that circle, we each could hold hands and make a big circle and make like a, I don't know, I just have this barrier vision of looking out to the outside world that is so normal, of how many people we know and love that we can pick at and say, you have migraines and I can see why. You have blood pressure issues and I can see why. You have diabetic issues and I can see why. And not just that we can see it, but we could fix it. We can fix it. You know, I mean, those are the things that it's hard to watch somebody you know and love.
that's just a sticking point.
Yep.
isn't it?
It is. It's just, you love people so much. And I think most of us in this community, we're givers, we're helpers, we're teachers, we're, you know, the people in the medical world that have turned around and learned a different way of life. It is so hard to watch the people you love and you have the answer.
It's frustrating.
It is. Especially the other ones in the medical world. You know, it's just.
But y'all have to figure out that oven is hot.
It is. Everybody's got to get there. And that again comes back to what our first step in this whole program. Why are you here? What is your why? And if your why does not make you cry, you're not digging deep enough. And I say that every class. If your why does not make you cry, go back and dig it more, because
Don't cry.
I don't know. It should. It oughta. All
Okay,
right,
my last thing. Welcome, Sean, and I see God answered your prayers. You know, it's not by accident you're here.
Nope.
Absolutely.
That's right. Nothing happens by accident, brother. Thank you.
You're
Thank all you guys.
No, I love it. I love it.
I know you're from the South. What part of the South are you from?
I am about, 25 minutes outside of Greenville, South Carolina.
Greenville. Yeah.
My brother's down there.
Yeah.
My baby brother's down
Her
there.
brother's out of Easley.
That's where I live in Easley.
You're
Are you
kidding me.
Yeah,
He's a state-
100%.
He's a state trooper and he lives in Easley, South Carolina.
I might know him actually.
James Norman.
Oh my gosh, that's too funny. You should see his journey. He went from 300-pound truck driving, smoking, drinking, hot mess to he was
does.
state highway patrolman of the year. He does
Wow.
Ironmans,
Triathlons.
I mean,
it's
all with him.
impressive.
I might know him. Matter of fact, because I used to work with a lot of those guys, and I know a bunch. I know a lot of them by face. Too,
nice.
that I
I'll
don't-
send
I
you a
don't know
picture
their
of
name.
him. He's over
That's
on
awesome.
He's over on our YouTube channel too. We did his Ironman over on a YouTube channel. You have to go check it out.
Yeah, check it on the website.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Yeah, I've been here
That's my
for.
baby.
I've lived here since I was 12 years old. So
Nice.
Dude, it's nice down there.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
If we head south, that's probably the area we're going to
We're gonna end up there.
we're going to
heck
head.
yeah. Swing by. We'll have some steak. Or something.
There you
Have
go.
some meat on the grill. Go ahead, Helen. Jump in, hon.
And my son lives in Clemson, and I'm trying to remember if he had a McDonald's in Easley or the next little thing around there.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Clemson's
and he's
20 minutes up the road.
he's the one that got me doing keto and
Nice.
he's been working on it.
Boy, he's
James Partridge.
James Partridge. He's double dipping, isn't he?
That's awesome.
Well, he just sold all of his McDonald's and walked away from it.
Dude, that kudos. That's
Kudos to
awesome.
him. Good for
And he's
him.
40 something years old right now and trying to figure out what to do with the rest of his life.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
Awesome.
Well, my baby brother went from being a truck driver to the state. He actually was state highway patrolman of the year last year. And now he's going back to school to be a barber too.
Yeah, he's going to be a barber now.
Just for whatever.
Nice.
So, like, well, you don't have enough things to do? Come on. That's his
That's
retirement
my other
plan.
man crush.
Jimmy.
Jimmy's my other man crush.
I love it.
All right, go ahead,
That-
Helen.
Come on in, Helen. Who we got left? Lori.
And then Lori. Yep.
All right, come on in, Helen.
Okay.
Tell us how your week's going.
Well, it was going awful till I signed in today and saw Sean, because for some reason, whatever I was trying to find something, or maybe it was your post. I haven't read it. I just saw the pictures. I have spent all day trying to track from set my anniversary date, or what I'm going to count as it, is September 1st. And I'm getting ready to go to the doctor the first week of September. And I want to be sure that she's going to do what labs I need to have done, and look at what I was doing. And then I was so brain confused. I've had pucker up all day. My brain is not straightening out. But
Use that biohack. It's a good thing.
huh?
I
Yeah.
said, keep using those biohacks. You're good.
I keep putting the blood pressure in where the fasting morning glucose goes and vice versa. So I had to change every now and then. And I really wasn't seeing that much difference. Oh, so what I want to know, okay, my protein is 64 and my fat's 122. So right now
2 to
I'm
1.
1 to 2.
Flip it around.
Yes,
2
yeah.
fats to 1 protein.
Oh, okay. So what
See
do
what-
I say?
2 to 1. You're a 2 to 1
2 to 1.
fat to protein ratio. You're 2 to 1.
Okay. So
Helen,
I'm
and
2 to-
just know, Helen, too, with your insulin resistance, you being a cancer survivor too, all of those things you have going, one of the things that me and you have got to stay in mind, our bodies have mitochondrial damage. The chemo that they put in us. Anybody that doesn't know, Helen was a triple negative breast cancer survivor, just as I was. And that's very unusual. And it's a very tough cancer. So just know, I know the chemo that they give you to do that. My doctor's advice to me was he was going to get me as close to death as he could get me and bring me back. And that is exactly what that chemo did to me. So Helen, your mitochondrial damage, I'm not saying this to give you an excuse. I'm saying it to be patient with your body, because you have to get that mitochondrial health going, and it's going to take time, and it's annoying and frustrating. And
Your 2 to 1 ratio right now
Yeah.
is perfect for you.
So every day, if nothing else, just get my fat in, even if I have to eat butter.
Yeah.
At this
I'm
point,
making some
butter bites,
brown butter bites.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, those are good.
use the butter.
Then last week I did 3 days of sardines, and one day I ate 4 cans, and then I kind of ate less.
Slacked off.
Well, day 2 I had, and I probably still took, I'm up to 4 MCT capsules a day.
Keep it, and you can keep increasing that. That's nothing. So keep moving it, pushing those as much as
Right.
your body can tolerate.
Well, I had the second day of sardines, I had diarrhea again. And
All
I
right.
had
So
the rest of the days I had diarrhea.
all right. So that's
Okay.
where you hit the time.
There's the line.
Yep.
Right there.
You hit that line of MCT and fat that you can
Come
absorb.
back just a little
Just-
bit.
Step back just a little bit so that it doesn't throw you into that.
Okay, or if I'm doing sardines again, should I just not take the MCT capsules?
If you were okay at 4 MCT in the sardines, I would stick with 4 MCT in sardines until you feel you could move to 5 MCT in sardines, but
Okay.
give your body a break. It's not a back up and stop.
It's
That
not a
just
fail.
means-
It's not a failure.
Look, just like Linda
Right.
was talking earlier, until your body can assimilate and process that fat, hold steady. This is where you got to hold space and let your body catch up to what the plan is.
I guess
Okay.
that's one of those things of you're learning your body, you're learning the thresholds or the lines of your body right now, and you go to that line, and then you find out what
Then
happens, and
pause.
you back. You just take a half a step back so you don't take a step over that line.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
And that is
Yeah.
what the beauty of, yes, it's simple. Everybody can pretty much do the same thing. It's, we know how to do carnivore. We got this. But that is where exactly what you're talking about. This is where the beauty of knowing what your DBR is, knowing that drboz ratio, how your fats are absorbing, how all those things are working. That is the beauty of it, because what we're doing, we can all be doing the same thing. Lance and I eat the same thing. We go to a restaurant, he orders to this, to that, to this. The waitresses love us, because it's easy. We eat the exact same things, but our numbers are totally different.
Yeah.
And that ratio, knowing that the inflammation in our bodies and the level that each of our bodies are working at is going to be, that's where the specifics come in. That's where Helen is going to be totally different than Wayne. Wayne's going to be totally different than Sean. That is where we've got to get you narrowed in. And right now it's just, you're there, you're at the pressing point of what your body can handle. Pause, stay right there. Don't back up. Just
And
stay
that
right there.
and that is definitely where consistency helps.
Yeah.
You're at a good place right now. You need to stay there and work it to the best ability at that place.
Okay. And normally I've had 3 cans of sardines a day, but never 4.
And you will progressively that'll retract as your nutrition gets better and better and your fat macros get in you. That same thing we used to say with the ribeyes. We used to get big 2-inch ribeyes the size of our plate.
Now we're down to
It went down. Like
now-
I ate it.
and then now we're down to 1-inch ribeyes or 3/4-inch ribeyes. So we're getting.
I don't want as much.
You'll learn to get a better quality bite of food through this whole process. So every bite of food will be a quality, not quantity. So it'll very much change. So, but give your body time to make that change. And right now you're in the phase of where you need to be that 2-to-1 and just kind of hold steady there, and your body will tell you the next step when it's ready.
And
All
staying
right.
consistent for so many days in a row, again, that's what's going to help your body get to the next level.
Consistency.
I have one question. When with doing all of this, for some reason, can you set your keto mojo to do just a month at a time? Like mine started on 9/20.
We can change your date in there.
year.
We can change your date in there. Why don't you me and you'll set up a one-on-one, and I'll get in and help you show
Okay.
you how to do your Mojo app and get in there, and you can set your date and bring that all up. So just
Oh,
let me know. when
great.
it's free,
Thank you.
and we'll get on
Okay.
and do. We'll do, because I can bring your patient portal up too and get everything connected and look at it. And that might be a
Okay.
little easier for you to see everything too.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So-
Any other questions, Helen? Are you good?
No, I'm good. I just was making notes, and like I said, I was just thought about just going to bed, not to do anything, but when you
No
show
acting.
up, you get all the little goodies.
All
That's
good.
right. Little
Thank
little cookies. Yeah.
But you know what?
Yeah.
I think all of us get in that rut, and we get used to hearing the same people's stories over and over. And I still tell people, and it's hard to understand for anybody that doesn't understand the brain work in it. Listening to everybody else's stories over and over and over actually helps heal
It
your
does
own
help.
brain. And it's that neural pathway in the brain. We're trying to realize, Helen will listen in and pick something out that pertains to her. Linda will listen in and pick out something that pertains, the guys all being able to connect. I love having the group of men we have right here. It's just, they're going to be able to feed off of each other. And when you're with like-minded people, that heals your brain. Remember the old saying we used to say to our kids, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. It's the same thing for us. Show us your friends your circle of influence. That's your future. And if we don't get with like-minded people, it's really easy to jump off. I mean, it truly is. And it's just easy to get out of whack. So good job for showing up. And again, I just want to thank Sean for writing that post, because I think you sparked our whole group this week.
That's all. I love it.
You were the inspiration. You really were. And that's one of the things I was just talking to Wayne and some other people on here. I really want to do just a inspiration page, Transformation Tuesday on the website, and start honoring and showing off what everybody can do. So when we have newbies coming in, they can actually read and see the progress, especially Wayne, you guys that have had the success and you have the numbers now to prove it. That's black and white. That isn't something anybody can argue about. That's just cool. That is cool to see. And that's what it's going to take to get more and more people in. It really is. So good job, Helen. Have a great week.
Yep.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Come on in, Lori. Come say hi. We got your whole face now. Look at you. Hang on. We got you muted though.
You don't have your voice.
There we
you go. We lost your face.
Am I back? I'm back.
There you are.
Something's wrong. I got Glow Fiber installed this weekend and we're having some weird spotty issues. How's my week? I'm suffocating. I'm in Virginia and it's hot.
Oh,
I'm all ready for fall. My son says I am the most basic white girl that ever lived. I live with that. But we're going into pumpkin spice season and I'm not a happy camper.
oh,
I have something exciting because I'm getting ready to show a recipe for some pumpkin spice stuff. So
Oh, good. Well, we found, it was funny the other day, I found the Keto twins have a dupe for a pumpkin spice muffin. And I told my daughter, I said, okay, because I've got her doing more carnivore than keto. But I said, if you're really good in October, but we got to wait till October,
Yep.
I will make them.
yes.
there you go.
She'd like, seriously, I have to go. But anyway, week's going good. It's good. We have a big end of summer bash potluck thing at work. And it was funny. I was the first person that signed up because I went running in there and I thought, if you want to eat at this thing, you better come up with something. So I put in that I'm bringing a meat and cheese charcuterie board.
Nice.
Perfect.
So I've got the roast beef and the ham and pepperoni and all the cheeses and all the stuff I can eat.
Make two of them, because if nobody else brings anything, you got to feed them plus feed you.
Right. So I did
Pack
that.
your
So I
lunch.
could have all the things. Because I was sitting there looking at the sign up today on the refrigerator and I was like, oh, a bunch of people are making some Mexican food. That's great. Would you think somebody would bring like some fajita type things in? No, everybody's bringing in burritos and everything's got rice and beans in it. I was like, fine, whatever, it's fine. But yeah, so I, excited because I'm doing that. But it was and it's funny because they're really on us, which this is a company. The company I work for is kind of a bigger company, and they're doing a health fair, but the health fair is really to get us in and get us to do labs that they can have access to. So they can look at it for insurance. And they said, well, you don't have to, and blah, blah, blah. And I looked at them and I said, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And they were all like, because first I was like, oh, free labs. And then I went, no. And one of the ladies was like, why aren't you going to do it? Why wouldn't you? I mean, don't you want to know? And I said, no, because I'm only about 5 months into this. And I said, and I just came off of my statin 3 weeks ago. I said, it might not. I said, if they did it right now, I might be okay. There might be enough of that statin still running through that cholesterol would make them happy. I said, but I'm afraid by the time that we do this thing in 3 weeks, they're going to flip out when they see my numbers.
Yeah.
I said, all my other numbers, I said, I know my other numbers are good. I had some stuff done a few weeks ago and I was still on the statin and all my other numbers are great. But I was like, nah, I'm not going to do it. But I know y'all are cracking me up when you're talking the butter. I just go and eat butter. I don't care.
Right.
My daughter was here the other night and I realized that I had not gotten enough fat. And I sat down and I had this bowl and she goes, what are you eating? Is that, I said, there's no way. She goes, what did you do? Did you stir up some heavy whipped cream? Is that what you're doing in us? And I lifted it up and showed her the spoon. She goes, what is that? And I said, Kerrygold.
Kerrygold.
And she goes, you're just eating it straight. And I said, really good. You should try.
I had a girl deliver us some groceries the other day, and she gets to the door and she started laughing. And I said, wow, that was really quick. And she says, yeah, it'd have probably been quicker, but I had to wait for him to bring more butter out. She says, you really like butter, don't you? And I'm like, yeah. I ordered like 14 of those squares.
Right. Well, the best part of that is I'm in a carnivore ketovore group on Facebook, and people keep talking about Aldi's, and I was like, all right, man, I've got to hit Aldi's. So I
Yes,
went,
that's where she got the groceries from.
right. And see, and I haven't, it's so, I can almost walk to Aldi's, and I just never go because it's kind of tucked in a corner and I forget about it. But I went in and I made the swoop around the outside edges, and I go up and I'm checking out, and the girl goes, keto diet?
Yep.
She goes, or what's that other thing? I said, carnivore. I'm doing carnivore right now. And she goes, oh, okay. And it's kind of funny because people look at you, because somebody looked at me one time in the checkout line. They go, BBB and E. And because that's literally all I had. And I said, yeah. And I was like, so excited. But yeah. And I know what you're saying about being really hard with people, because I work in life insurance of all things. And part of my responsibility is underwriting. So
You're at a crossroads, huh?
I'm in a weird position. I used to be in the claims department, and finally I told them I couldn't take it anymore, and I had to go out of that because it was just too horrible. So now I'm in underwriting and new business, and I love it. I hate when I get a bunch of underwriting, and I could just sit there and cry over people, and it's hard when you see the stuff, and so many people, I just cannot begin to tell you how many people are on how many meds. It's shocking and sad.
Phenomenal.
It's crazy. And then the lady that's working with me on my team now, I sit there and I watch her and I go, there, but for the grace of God goes me 6 months ago. When she sits down to eat, she's done in 2 minutes. She puts away phenomenal amounts of food. I mean, I'm like, she didn't even taste it. And I know how that I couldn't have told you what I ate. I just swallowed it whole. And she's the same way, and she's on to something else. She's sitting there and I look at her and she's talking about something the other day, because I've kind of got this one lady who's really very interested in asking a lot of questions. And she kind of getting her feet wet, trying to get into keto. And this lady was like, y'all gonna shame me into doing this, aren't you? And I said, no, I mean, if you want to do it. And, but her doctor sent her and she just had blood work done. And she was all upset about her cholesterol. And I said, tell me, can I see him? I mean, I don't want to invade your privacy. Do you want to talk about it? And she told me her cholesterol numbers. And I said, they're not bad. Are you sure? I said, well, look at our guidelines, for heaven's sakes. Really, you're not bad. Your HDL is really good. Your triglycerides are really low, and that's good. I said, your LDL is a little high, but it's not the really bad LDL. It's the fluffy LDL. And she's just looking at me like, how in the world do I know all this?
But I think getting that outside world to understand there's a difference of that cholesterol being high in the absence of carbs and sugar, and that cholesterol being high in the presence of carbs and sugar.
Absolutely.
But I told her, I said, your thing, when she was reading everything, I said, the thing, if I were you, and I said, and the thing that I would make my doctor focus on, I said, is your A1C. I said, you're at 10, and that's not good. And I'm like, were you fasting, and how long, And she's like, well, I quit eating at 7. I said, did you really? Are you sure? And she got it. So she only went like 12. She said she went like 11 or 12 hours. And I was like, I said, you want to talk to the doctor about that? I said, it may just be you aren't quite as fasted as you thought you were, but I'm looking at her.
Yeah, but that A1C is over cumulative.
Yeah. And I
3
thought
months
when she
too.
was
So
saying
that's
that,
not
I'm like, dear God, it was all I could do to keep from like shoving a steak down her throat.
right. Buy the girl a ribeye.
Right. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at the edema in her feet, and she's talking about, she's bought these Hey Dudes, and she's talking about how she has to loosen the laces. And I'm like, oh, honey, please.
Wow.
Yeah.
Please stop eating it. Please.
Yeah.
But it is, because I'm like you. It's like people see me coming and they're like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Coworkers kind of go, if people will bring up diets up, and there's a lady in my office now, and I was getting a little upset because like she's dropped a phenomenal amount of weight really fast. And I was like, are you kidding me? How did she do that? And then I found out she's on some kind of fad diet. And this is about the third one she's been on since she's come to work in my office. So I'm like, oh yeah, you got about 6 months,
That's that same thing. The people that are going on that shot, the Ozempic.
Right.
Shot, it's the same thing. They're losing quick weight, but it's one of those, I want to build health. It's not about the weight.
See, I think that's what she's doing. And she's very unhealthy, because she's always wanted to come and talk to me about blood pressure and statins, for your cholesterol and all this stuff. And what am I doing now? And it was funny because she brought it up a couple of weeks ago, and I said, well, I'm not taking the statin anymore. I said, it's actually, I found out, not really medically recommended for my condition. So it was stupid to ever be on it in the first place.
Yep.
I said, I'm going to talk to the doctor about alternatives. I said, but I'm eating different, so I think it's better. I'm off of one blood pressure medication. Got a message into the doctor now because my BP's been down so much over the past 2 weeks that I think she's going to go ahead and agree. If she doesn't, I'm doing it anyway. But I think she's going to agree to reduce my blood pressure medication.
Nice.
Because it's come down, and I actually forgot to take it twice last week, and it still didn't shoot up. So I was really excited.
Good. Is there any questions, Lori, we can help you with right now?
No.
Okay.
I'm just like trying to kind of hang in there and just keep it going and not get upset with myself because it's not falling off.
It's not going to. I'm going to tell you right now.
I know.
It's not going. Every girl on here is going to be saying it's not going to happen. So don't.
That's a happy side effect.
It's a happy side effect. Once we heal at the cellular level, the weight will come off, but not as fast as it does.
Right.
So just hang tight. Hang tight.
Yeah.
Any questions over there?
Nope. YouTube's kind of quiet, but we do have we have had a lot of people, but that's good.
All right. Any questions? Anything we didn't cover tonight? Anything that you're not sure of? Anybody not sure what their goals are for the week coming? Okay, we will keep doing the daily check-in over in the group page. So keep putting your check-in, because what that's going to be is I'm going to leave those on there. So anybody watching, you can go back through then and check where you were a month ago, what your numbers were 2 months ago. You'll be able to always refer back to them. We do have a lot of other stuff we're working over on the website right now. So I'll put posts up as we check any of that out and get some new stuff up and going. There will be the new link for next week. Anybody that's getting in, I sent it to Wayne and can't seem to figure out how to send it back for the week we were at the hospital. I'm just going to make a new one and repost it and reshare it. So we'll change it over on the website and the group.
So the link that you used tonight to get on the Zoom will change
by next week.
So everybody,
so if you have it saved in your calendar, make sure you update it. We'll try to get it updated on the page. We'll update it on the website, and we'll try to get an email out to everybody. If you're not signed on our email list, go ahead and go over to journeytoketo.com and sign into our email list, and we'll send it out that way. If that's easier, whatever way's easiest, let me know. My journeytoketo.com is the website, Helen. That's where all like if you need my affiliate links to go buy a product or anything, that's all where that's at. If the classes, all that stuff's on there. What else? Forgetting some. Classes, anybody that's wanting in the group coaching thing, I'm back home now. Hopefully my brother's stable enough that I will be here at normal classes again. So we'll have anybody wanting in the keto group. We're going to be starting a beginner's class and an advanced class. So whichever version you want to jump in on, we'd be happy to help you through. drboz is going to be having a 21-day program starting in September. So be thinking that September 11th, I think, is the first day on that. If you want just coaching, I have the coaching program. If you want coaching with Dr. Boz, you got the 21-day program. So coming up. So you've got options coming up ahead of you, whatever you want to do, but we're here and hopefully we'll be home for a while now. And we're going to try to get a little rhythm going at the hospital. So everybody's not up there every day, and because it's like a 2-hour drive to get to it. So we're trying to work around the clock a little bit. So, but I appreciate everybody's love and patience and stuff through this time for our family. So we do appreciate it. Reach out if we can do anything.
Hang in there, everybody.
Hang in there. We'll see you.
Stay consistent. Stay it.
Sean, again, thank you for coming in and sharing. We love it.
Oh, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Anytime.
We're here every week. Come and see us.
Awesome.
All right.